Primal Country 108.
Tim and Willie.
Yes. And Garth and Tricia singing in Vegas. We are joined right now by Senator John McCAIN. Hello, Senator.
Hey, Tim and Willie, how you doing, guys?
We're doing
pretty good.
Fantastic. You in Washington this morning?
Yes, I'm trying to do the Lord's work in the city of Satan again.
Once again.
Listen, I want to just congratulate you guys. 20th anniversary coming up here.
Wow.
That's remarkable longevity in your business. Congratulations.
Yeah, there's a lot of countries where we would have been shot by now.
No doubt.
Maybe with good reason. But fact is that your business, like mine, is very transient, and you got to keep up, and you guys have done that. And again, the Valley has really benefited by having your presence there for a long, long time, and I hope you're there for 20 more.
Well, thank you, Senator. I appreciate that, and especially Willie. Can you go another 20? Are you?
Are you kidding?
Willie's got a titanium hip, so that might be the only part of him that's left.
Titanium and chrome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's been on a respirator a few times.
A couple times. He just does it for the health benefits. Now, Senator McCAIN, we have many of our listeners, knowing that we were going to chat with you, wanted us to ask you some questions. So we're going to get the serious ones out of the way first, if you don't mind.
Could I just mention that my friend Scott Brown, the great Massachusetts victor in the Senate race, is coming to town this weekend, and we're going to be at Grand Canyon University around noon on Friday, and we look forward to anybody coming out.
Oh, excellent.
Say hi to Scott Brown. He's, as you know, he posed for Cosmopolitan, so he's not only a very intelligent and intellectual guy, he also is, frankly, he's really a very attractive guy. He's the kind of guy you'd like to frankly have a beer with.
Do you have a bromance going with him?
Is there a man crush here, Senator?
No, but I tell you, he came to see me when about 6 months ago before, and when no one gave him a chance, and he said, "Look, nobody will see me, nobody will talk to me. I'm telling you, I can win." And I said, "Not in Massachusetts."
Yeah.
And so I helped him, and he's a good guy. He's a member of the Guard Reserve. Has served his country well.
Well, the day right after he won, Scott Brown, I don't want to brag, but he called my house and just soliciting support for you. And I told him that I would, and then there was a beep and some other sounds. And I'm not sure. But he sounds like a good-looking guy.
But because of Scott Brown, that pretty much blocked the first version of Obamacare, right?
There you go.
Will we see anything, a new version of it? Where's that headed?
They're going to keep trying. The next month will be this month of March will be critical. Overwhelming majority of Americans reject this. They want it to start over. They don't want what they have proposed, and we'll see if they go against about a 2-to-1 majority. But we'll fight it every day. We know the system needs to be fixed, but not with a $2.5 trillion debt on our next generation.
Senator, what is the most important parts of how it can be fixed as opposed to what Obama and the Democrats have proposed? Because he keeps saying, if you have a better plan, show me. What is the better plan?
Well, one is medical malpractice reform, not only because of the legal side, but doctors practice defensive medicine, and they'll all admit that, which adds dramatically to the cost. Let's go across state lines. Someone in Arizona knows of a health care policy they can get in North Dakota. Let them go to North Dakota and get the one that they want. Let's let small businesses join together and negotiate with these insurance companies. Believe me, when a big corporation negotiates with the insurance companies, the insurance companies are on the other end, but small businesses are at their mercy. There are people with, quote, pre-existing conditions. We should have these pools put together of money so that insurance companies would bid on, and we can get health insurance for people with the pre-existing conditions. I don't want to take up all our time, but there's a list of about 10 things that we think we could do that would bring down cost. The problem with health care in America is the cost, not the quality, and 85% of the American people are satisfied with the health insurance they have, but Medicare is going bankrupt.
Yeah.
And the other thing that you got to stop is all these unsavory sausage-making, Chicago-style deal-making that they did to get their 60th vote. It's terrible. It's corruption.
Now, when I saw a little bit of the summit, of course, and there were some moments where it seemed like it was kind of lighthearted, and when he When the president said to you, John, the campaign's over, are you allowed to then call him back by his first name, or do you always have to call him Mr. President?
Always call him Mr. President. Always be respectful of the office. And as you know, I laughed and said I've been reminded of it every day. But,
Yeah.
but the point too is that you make commitments when you campaign, and you're supposed to keep those commitments. And the president promised transparency, promised C-SPAN would be in the room when the negotiations went on, and obviously that didn't happen. But you always must be respectful of the office of the President of the United States, and I promise you, I try to be. That's the way
was
works.
Was there beer at the summit?
No, there wasn't.
No.
Well, it wasn't even coffee.
Oh.
And I'll tell you, after a few hours, I needed a shot.
Yeah, I bet.
Caffeine.
Senator McCain.
It was. I think if a lot of people watched, they got more information about a very complex issue, and so I think it's good. I think it was good. Now, will the president start over or not? That's the question, and I don't think so. I think they are desperate to get something done.
We had a couple of questions specifically about Arizona, and one caller works in the healthcare, mental health care business, and also married to a social worker, and wondered what were your thoughts on the state of mental health care in Arizona.
I think that it's like the rest of the country, that it's the most difficult problem that we face. It's the most complex and probably least understood of all healthcare issues, and we need to do a lot more. And if I could just focus for a second on part of that, we have a big problem with PTSD from our wounded warriors that have come home from Iraq and Afghanistan. This kind of war leads to head injury and the stress. So we've got to do a lot more for our veterans as well, and that's an immediate problem to try to diagnose and address this PTSD issue. It's a serious one. I think we're making efforts in the right direction, but we got a lot more to do.
All right.
Another question that we had from a gentleman was about legal medical marijuana. Isn't it already legal here? I mean, medically speaking?
Not like California. As you know, in California, they've basically unleashed the,
Well, I know they have drive-thrus over there.
Yeah. Look, I've always thought that marijuana was a gateway drug. If someone can convince me that it's not harmful and that it's not a gateway drug, I will be, I'm always glad to hear additional information, but it's been my belief that marijuana is harmful to be taken into one's system, and I'm opposed to the legalization of it. And this debate on, quote, medical benefits will continue to go on. But in California, I think you're seeing a very loose interpretation of medical requirements.
Yeah.
That's up to the people in California.
And they're still in debt, too, right?
Yeah, trillions.
Well, all right.
Many billions, let me put it that way, yeah.
Senator McCain with us here on Camel Country 108. And now, Becky Lynn reported earlier that one of the results of this earthquake over the weekend was that the Earth, according to some scientists, was knocked slightly off its axis, shortening the day by a microsecond. Were you aware of this?
I've got to admit to you that I was not aware of the microsecond effect, but I will plead ignorance and get on that issue right away.
Senator McCain, it's actually a microsecond and a quarter, so it was even worse than Tim said.
Yeah.
May I say that Becky might be a little anal?
You wouldn't be the first one.
She is the official worry ward of our program, meaning that if she's worried about it, then we'll be concerned. But yeah,
there you go. No, but obviously it's a horrific thing that's happened down in Chile, and we obviously want to help in any way that we can.
Absolutely.
I would mention I saw an interesting picture today. The presidential palace in Chile intact because of the way it was built. The presidential palace in Haiti completely collapsed because of the way it was built. Very interesting. Building codes and the way you build things matter.
Yeah. Indeed. All right. One more, and this is an extremely serious, difficult question. Who do you like for the best picture in the Academy Awards this weekend?
Obviously, Avatar would have to be the favorite, right?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Everybody would. Hang on. Oh, you know what? A movie that I liked. My person just reminded me of. I said, "Have you seen District 9?"
District 9. Yeah.
You seen that? These aliens come, and it sounds really weird. They look like prawns.
Right.
But I'm telling you, it is you get into that movie. District 9 is worth watching. I don't even know what chance it has, but I thought this will be really not believable, but it became a plausible film, believe it or not. Maybe it just shows how naive I am. But I've always loved science fiction.
I heard this too, that District 9, isn't that the true story of how Apache Junction came to be? No, that's not it? Maybe I misread that.
No, and stop insulting the good folks out there.
I love you, AJ.
Are you sure, Senator, that you're not on pot right now? And I tease and I kid, but because I love you.
I will assert that I am in an Orwellian environment here in our nation's capital, where we seem to be totally disconnected from the American people.
Understood. Yes. Well, we're glad to have you back there and fighting the good fight for us, Senator.
Next time I'm home, I'd love to come in studio because, it's a lot more fun to see you guys in person, even though I'm glad that our listeners can't.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you.
Becky, take good care of them.
Okay.
I'm trying, believe me.
She's a Democrat.
Senator John McCain.
See you, bye.
All right. That's always good to talk with the senator and get caught up from Washington.
Hero.
Yep.
There you go.
And he called Becky Lynn out. Anal.
I know
That
it.
is a tag that's going to stick.
Our stickler, as we call it.